400 to go. Valderra, the filly's clear. 2 lengths. Shay's towards the outside, running an absolute cracker. What a Winter's in behind that, but it's Valderra, the filly. She's the best in town. Valderra beats What a Winter.
Hilla Bella's looking to get going. They 3 lengths off the leader. Katie's Lane, Bambina Stripes is right there. Amity is running on as well now. This is absolutely wide open, and Bambina Stripes on the outside maybe just gets up. Well done to Mr. Hoger, winning owner, to Dennis Dreyer, the winning trainer, and Alec Forbes, the winning jockey.
Via Africa still clear out here, and it's Via Africa with that magical stride. In fact, her stride's better than a million words. She's 3 lengths clear, and she ventures into new territory here. Grade 1 success, Via Africa.
Emotion is a very personal thing. We all have our own way of dealing with events that occur in life that we don't understand. Thursday morning, when the news started filtering through, we first felt total disbelief. But as the reality of Alec's passing sunk in, disbelief turned to total sadness at the huge loss that we have all, but in particular, Lezeanne and Zach and the family, had to deal with. Great sadness. Unbelievable to think that someone fit, strong, and in the peak of his career could ride a winner at Scottsville on Wednesday afternoon last, and within a short space of time passes away of natural causes. He leaves a void in our racing industry that will never be filled. But of course he leaves an even greater void in the lives of those who loved him so dearly. And our hearts go out to Lezeanne and Zach in particular, having to face the future and regroup without Alec. I think the turnout today, Lezeanne, is testament to how we all loved Alec.
He was an exceptional human being. He was a bona fide genius. He loved his kids and wife Lezeanne. He used to tell me all the time about the conversations he had had with Jordan and Savannah and how proud he was of them. He also used to rush home from races and even left the jockeys get together early, looking inspired, saying, "I need to get home to Bath and spend time with Zach." We spoke about relationships sometimes. You know, he cared so much for Lezeanne. They were so similar. They are so similar in so many ways. He admired her level of intellect and he supported her fully in everything that she did. Both Al and Lezeanne shared common beliefs about spirituality. Alec was a spiritual man and he introduced Lezeanne and me to the teachings of Abraham. It changed my life, and since then I've developed many more senses of meaning into my life. Alec still had so much to offer. He just started working with Robbie Thompson, and his saddle designs were right up there with the best in the world. He was a great judge of a racehorse, often being able to tell you how good a horse was after just giving it a canter. He was so balanced on a horse, and they just ran for him. He will be missed, but he left behind so many pearls of wisdom for a lot of people that spent any time with him. Alec and I spoke a few times about the transition most called death. He believed that as a physical extension of source energy, there was no death, only life and more life. He believed the larger part of him remained in the non-physical, perfectly connected to him, and gave him guidance via his emotions. He worked on himself to be positive and leave out negativity where he could. He overcame addiction, and he proved that the power of someone's thoughts is all-powerful. We learned that we should not fear death, and not even call it that. We should call it croaking. And when we croak, it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that happens to all of us, and is actually something that will feel good once the transition is made. We can still feel Alec, because he's merged back into where we've all come from, and are still very much connected too if we would only take the time to feel that pure positive source. Alec believed that once the transition was made, we would only experience exhilaration. Alec is with us now, and he always will be. He's in the sunrise when the horses are ringing around a track. He's even in the moonlight when trainers send us out into the darkness on the top and bottom tracks before the sun gets a chance to rise. He's in the breeze on our faces as we race around the tracks, but more than anywhere, he's in our hearts. Because no matter where we go, his spirit will be all around us, as our source energy always is. Celebrate his life and live your own life to the fullest. Because I think if Alec could have told you one or two things to think about before he left, it would have been to be happy in yourself, and that will bring all good things to you. And he also liked a quote from the Emerald Tablet that said, "As above, so below, as within, so without." And remembering, after saying all of that, if the great father, husband, friend, son, brother, Alec Forbes was here, he would just say, "Hi guys, I've croaked and I'm okay, watching and living through you all."
Alec always wanted to do better as a jockey, and I always used to say to him, "Alec, you can only do the best you can with the rides you have." And because of his quiet nature, he found it very difficult to approach trainers for rides or phone owners, but he plucked up the courage every now and again, and I was always on his case in a positive way. I remember one day saying to him, we were in PE, and I said, "Just snap out of it, boy." I don't think he spoke to me for 2 or 3 weeks because he didn't like that kind of talk, and I probably never understood the depth and the magnitude of what was happening internally. And once I got to understand Alec, I never ever used those words again, just snap out of it, because only when you're in that place, and I've been in that place in the last 8 years, do you know what somebody's going through. Only once you've walked their shoes. So Alec, it's not too late. You know, I've always only said what came from our heart to you. So I'm sorry if I said that and I offended you at that time. It's never too late, but I suppose this time it is.
King, as a former father-in-law to Alec, I'm sure you were very close to him. I know he gave you a lot of joy, and the fact that you are here means that you have a great deal of respect for him, irrespective of whatever happened in the latter part of his life.
Yeah, sure. And you know, what happened between him and Sam, it happened between the two of them. You know? They made the choices. Life gives you those curveballs, but they both got on with their lives. I got on with Alec. He looked after the kids. He lived for the kids, you know. And when he rode for me, he had great rides. He had a hell of a good win with the exclusive member who won the national sprint, which gave, and I'm not sure if it was Alec's first Group 1 in those days, but I know it was Sam's first Group 1. Yeah, he was a wonderful guy. It's just very, very sad.
Yeah, well, Bunsky, you know, Alec and I go back a long, long way. It's just on 11 years now since I started working for him. It was put on to me by Mario Texera from Cape Town, funny enough, who I was so pleased to see her today as well. And I've worked for Alec through thick and thin, the good times, the bad times. But let me tell you, there's been a damn sight more good times because he had the most positive attitude. I dealt with him on a regular basis. I spoke to him the night before he passed away to congratulate him on his winner that afternoon. But we really formed a close bond, and when Alec came to Cape Town to ride, he always stayed over with me, and Maureen loved him to pieces. Our pets loved him to pieces. He was just the type of guy that you could not help but love. And this is not the type of day that I really like to do public speaking, but to everyone out there who thought of Alec, who couldn't make it here today, the ones who have made it here today, and particularly to little Lezeanne and little Zach. I've got all the memories on video that Alec sent me, and they'll remain with me forever. And anything that myself or any of my family can do for them, it's here in the heart, fella.
A great guy. He was a good boy in the jockey room, and on behalf of all the jockeys in South Africa, especially the Natal guys who've come and supported him today, it's his wife and his family. It's a very, very tragic loss, and we're really going to miss him, and we just hope Lezeanne and the kids and the family can move on. You know, it's happened to, I married a widow, and we know what it's like. It's not easy, and when there's kids involved. So we just wish them all the best, and to Lezeanne, she looks like she's been very strong. I know she's been through terrible times, but for Alec, from all us guys, you're gone, but you'll never be forgotten.